그 애니메이션 게임 마신 PC-FX.
The game is FX.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoterica and our continuing series on the NEC PC-FX, and today we're taking a look at Farland Story FX. If you love tactical RPGs, you're going to really like this game, and if you don't like tactical RPGs, watch the video so you can see one of the other obscure titles on the PC-FX. But it's a really good tactical RPG, and I enjoy the genre, so I'm definitely going to recommend if you like them, you should check it out. And as usual with all PC-FX games, we get a really nice anime FMV intro at 30 frames a second in motion JPEG. Before we get too far involved, if you do me a huge favor, go down below and hit like, subscribe, and that notification bell definitely helps me out. And if you feel so inclined, you want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down there as well. But I feel like in gaming, there's two different types of people. People that really either like tactical RPGs or people that have played one and didn't like it or never played one in their life. I've always enjoyed them, and that's just me. I like the slow pace. I love playing them when I'm traveling on a handheld device. They're just those type of games that you can pick up, play a few rounds of, put down, and come back to when you have a chance. They're also the type of games where you can play and read your phone at the same time, and when you get a little bit older in life, that's kind of nice to be able to multitask. And I will say this game is translated as far as all the menus are concerned. The audio, as far as the voiceovers, is not, but that doesn't really matter because this is the type of game that you could not play if you didn't have English. Even with Google Translate, it would just take you way too long. But thankfully, it has been translated and you can play it in English. And I will leave the link in the description below where you can get the patch to apply to the ISO if you want to play the game. But this reminds me of so many other tactical RPGs, and for what is here, it's really good. We have two power-ups, herb and whiskey. I'm not sure if that's a joke from the translator, if that's what they actually decided to use, but clearly that samurai there is going to be having a good time later tonight. But you'll see, it's the basic tactical RPG formula. It's grid-based, you move, you change turns, you wait for your opponents, and then you kind of develop a strategy from there. And that's what I've always enjoyed about these games, because they're just interactive board games. And obviously you can't play a board game on a flight, you can't play a board game while you're in the back seat of a car, but you can play a tactical RPG. Now of course you're not going to be playing much PC-FX on the go unless you have a handheld computer and you're emulating it, but these are the type of games that I do enjoy when I feel like I played too many action games. And I have a video that I'll leave a link to below. It was on the Apple Pippin, that's how obscure stuff we cover on this channel, but that was a Gundam tactical RPG, and I finished that after the video and I enjoyed every bit of it because I just like the pacing of these games. Of course it takes a little bit for anything to actually happen, but once you get into later levels in this game, the boards you're playing on get very complex, the items that you get are almost infinite, and you really have to develop a full strategy to figure out how you want to proceed. Because you'll see here we just have a lance for Randia, the knight, and we need to figure out how to get him new weapons as we move on. But this is obviously just the tutorial level, but I love the battle animations, and I have cut out the loading times. You don't do anything in them. You can strategize what direction you come from to hit the character, but otherwise these are just basically on autopilot, and they're dictated by your luck, your strength, your level, things like that. But in some ways the game kind of plays itself a little bit, which I don't mind so much, but maybe that'll be something that you don't like, because like I said earlier, the tactical RPG audience is thin, and I feel like that's why we don't get that many of them, but the ones that we still do get are amazing, and I play pretty much every one of them. But I'm the type of person that will sit down and play a 500 turn game of Civilization, and I'm going to buy every single new Disgaea game that releases. So for me, I am predisposed to like this type of game. But when people say that there's no good games on the PC-FX, that really isn't true, and this is definitely one of the better games if you're into the genre. I will say that I wish some of the combat was more interactive, and I'll be showing you guys another RPG on this series where you do have fully interactive combat. But basically what this game comes down to is really just strategizing what direction you want to come from, how you want your turns to go, and be hitting your level against the enemy's level. And that's basically all there is to it. It's almost chess-like in its nature. But what is here is really fun. I love these cutscenes, and the nice thing is depending on where on the map you're standing, the backgrounds do change. You're getting a little more, but listen to a bit of the battle music. It is quite good, and I will be right back. So yeah, I'm into the music. Maybe you will be, maybe you won't. And this is the type of game that I almost thought about cutting from the playlist completely as far as the PC-FX is concerned, because even when I'm making these videos, I'm wondering who's actually going to be interested in watching them. But my channel is called Video Game Esoterica, so I can't keep bringing too many mainstream things. I really got to zag now and then. But the map music is actually really good, so go ahead and listen to that for 30 seconds, and I'll come back and tell you more why, if you're one of the 12 people probably watching this, why you should check it out. Yeah, the music sounds exactly like how you would expect kind of a fantasy medieval role-playing combat game to go. But now that we're to the boss here, the officer, basically there's one character on each map that you need to kill to be able to get to the next map. And a lot of times you want to strategize, because attacking every single low-level character is just going to wear you down until you get to the point where you probably don't have enough resources left to be able to finish the round. But the nice thing is this game lets you save between each individual round, so you don't have to finish a board in one sitting. You can play for 20 minutes, get up, and then come back to it 3 days later to finish off your match, and I really do appreciate that the game does that. But once you get into the later areas when you are fighting the bosses, it definitely feels a little autopilot-y, because all I'm doing is saying attack, he's attacking me, I'm defending, and we're going back and forth. But this game is the type of game that opens up the further you get into it. The maps get much bigger, the enemy types get more varied, you have item shops where you're able to purchase new weapons and different health upgrades, so really this game continually builds on itself. And that's the thing about the PC-FX, is there's definitely a limited list of games that I could talk about, and this is one of those games that I really wondered how many people would be interested in. But it's the type of game I like, and it is a good example of what the PC-FX does well, which is, RPGs and tactical RPGs to a certain degree, and this is one of the games that is in English, and that was another big reason why I decided to show it to you guys, because it actually is playable from start to finish for a non-native Japanese speaker, and that is always a great thing. But now that we've beaten that boss, we're just going to get a little bit of story. Who knows what it's saying, because it all is in Japanese and I don't speak it, but honestly the story really isn't that important. But if you like tactical RPGs, if you like rare random Japanese games, then maybe take a look at Farland Story FX. You might find something you really like in it. And if you don't take these type of games, well, you just watched an 8-minute video about one of the rarer consoles around that no one seems to know about, that there's no videos about, and you just got to find out another decent game for it. Sure that we will be back next Tuesday with another episode in the PC-FX series. We're getting close to the end. If this is where I schedule it, I'm probably going to put it towards the end, but I will have videos throughout the week as well on totally different topics. Leave a comment down below. Are you into tactical RPGs? Do you like the genre? Do you hate the genre? Do you think I should have not put this episode up because it is very slow? Are you interested in seeing more weird rare games like this? Sure to that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. That's another PC-FX game in the bag, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.